Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. Now, before the episode, I've prepared a couple of things for our upcoming battles, and most importantly, our spells have changed quite a bit. We're going to be adventuring in a pretty specific environment, and so we're going to want a lot of protection from fire. We even have some protection from the elements, and I also wanted to showcase some spells that we have not cast yet, such as Wail of the Banshee, for example, on Imoen. We're going to try to get some value out of that. Yaga-Shura has Imprisonment. There's going to be a decent target for that spell where we're headed. Also, Imoen has some new stuff, like Mass Raise Dead. This is mostly for the AoE heal component of it, but I think we might get some actual use out of it, because there are going to be some intense fights where we're going, especially one of the last ones, and I think this might actually come in handy, especially considering how quick it is to cast, although there is a bit of a delay between the cast completion and the moment where the heal actually goes off, but it might come in handy for us. Also, we're going to get a little bit into the territory of gating in celestial beings, I guess, and start out with our Deva. It should be a great help for us, I think, in one encounter. And, before we go into summoning Planetars, we're going to give the Deva a chance, and she should be very, very helpful for us. Also, from some new stuff, we're going to have Conjure Animals on Jaheira, and this is only because we're never going to use that spell, and in one encounter I would like to have some cannon fodder, and these bears are going to provide a little bit of a distraction before inevitably dying. So yeah. Also, one thing that is really long overdue is Jaheira is going to have one death ward now, because we want to have another source of that kind of effect. We could see in the last encounter with that fallen planetar that was kind of unexpected, I guess, where this fight was a great example of how useful it is to have different sources for different types of protection effects. Like, not only Imoen, who was actually, under heavy pressure, and he had that deafness effect on him, him being the only source of that kind of effect was kind of problematic for us, of course. But anyway, the other thing that I've done was distribute some ammo. Now everyone is going to have the best ammo we have in our possession, so Jaheira and Imoen are going to have the bullets +4, even Saravok is going to have the bolts +3, and Imoen is going to have both the bolts and arrows prepared for whatever she needs at the moment. And I think we also are going to give the short bow of Gessen a chance now, for this upcoming adventure, because the fire damage coming from the Firetooth crossbow is going to do absolutely nothing where we're going, so let's actually give some electrical damage a chance. And this bow is actually going to give, especially when equipped with the +3 arrows, it's going to give her a much better Thaco than the Twigan bow would, and just for variety's sake, let's give the short bow of Gessen a little chance here. Also, we have some stuff on Yaga-Shura that we have looted near the end of the episode. And this nymph steer is going to be used in the process of crafting, of upgrading a certain ring. And yeah, I think that's it for us for now. Now let's teleport back to our pocket plane. We're going to rest, get our spells, we're going to set up our sequencers, and then we're going to get back on the road I guess on the way to the Marching Mountains, somewhere in Tether, so that we can speak to Karthus now. Now that we have used our Slayer transformation, we dropped our reputation a little bit, now it's time to get it back. So yeah, before we rest, let's release our Familiar, so that it can rest together with us. Oh yeah, I've also kept Jaheira with her fire resistance gear, also Imoen has the ring. We're going to need all those protections. Anyway, let's get our Familiar back, and let's actually use up Imoen's spell sequencer. That triple remove magic is not going to be particularly useful where we're going, and we're going to set up some new stuff on her. Also, by the way, I forgot to talk about that. You might have noticed, perhaps in some of the previous episodes, that her icons here were different, because Ascension actually upgrades her Bhaalspawn abilities a little bit, so they become a little bit more relevant and useful, I guess, in the environment of Throne of Bhaal, I guess. And this happens whenever you load the game, so after the episode where she actually gained the Bhaalspawn powers, and after I quit and came back to the game for another recording session, she already had those abilities upgraded. So basically her Cure Light Wounds becomes Cure Serious Wounds, so that it can heal a little bit more, and her minor Larlock's Minor Drain becomes Cause Serious Wounds, which is actually debatable if that's actually better, because Larlock's Minor Drain can actually be useful here and there for the purposes of a quick interruption, but perhaps not so much in Throne of Bhaal anymore. But anyway, now let's get to setting up some stuff. First, more for like role-playing reasons, we're going to set up once again a triple Ice Storm spell sequencer on MON. We're going to battle fire with some of our ice spells here. And we also want to set up a spell trigger. And in that, we're going to place Pierce Magic and 2 lower resistances, and we're going to have a similar thing on Senashira, but we're going to place a secret word and double lower resistance in there. There are going to be some creatures that we will probably want to lower the magic resistance of, and I think now we are done. We can now go back to Karthus. Yeah, we want to be outside of Saradush, and now Karthus, when we give him the chance, he's actually going to approach us. Come on, Sinashira. And there he goes. And of course, he's going to thank us for the rescue. And now we get that +1 reputation. So we're on our way back to 20. Now we're at 19 again. And he's basically going to wait here until his next caravan, or until a next caravan comes by. So we're going to have him available here. He's not going to know anything about any fire giants, but he is going to be able to share some info about the nearby glade in the forest of Mir that we have just been to. And yeah, he's going to mention that the previous worshippers of Bhaal are now spirits that haunt the place, and the temple also attracts and draws other such creatures to it. A frightening place. Anyway, we're going to take a look at his wares, and you can steal from him, but we are not going to bother to. He has some useful stuff. First of all, we're going to buy these containers. Another scroll case, another potion case, very nice. Another Rod of Resurrection, extremely nice. He also has some good spells that I'm just going to outright buy. The Pierce Magic, the Spell Strike, the Black Blade of Disaster, and I think that's going to be really it. The Obsidian Ironstone can be situationally useful, like for example for Senashira it would give her a little bit more HP, but we're not going to bother with it. He also has some potions, but we basically have what we need here, although we might get some of these big potions. And he is also another source of good ammunition, and that's basically all that he has to offer. But of course, the main thing about him is the fact that he is going to offer us some extremely good prices for goods. Actually, we can already equip Saravok with the Wave. We're going to get a lot of value out of that weapon soon. And I think Saravok is going to keep all of the healing potions. I guess Animan can get the Rod of Resurrection, and for now let's give these containers to Saravok. Anyway, yeah, we want to, of course, sell some stuff to this guy, because he basically pays double for anything. He's so grateful for the rescue, as he should be. Like, that was a very dangerous situation, getting attacked by an army. So let's get to it. And I think I'm just going to cut it out for the purposes of saving some time, so I'm going to be right back. And we're back, and actually first we're selling stuff from Saravok's bag of holding, the full one. I've also reorganized some of our items between the two bags so that we can properly sell all of them in bulk before the price depreciation kicks in. And what I mean here, of course, is for example selling all 12 of these battle axes in one go while they are still at their optimum price. But anyway, for all of this stuff from this bag of holding we can get almost 150,000 gold, so our financial situation is going to be much improved. And from the other bag of holding we just have a couple of items to get rid of quickly. And I'm also going to leave those scrolls out for now, because I think some of them are stolen. Now let's check that out. Okay, let's check the particulars. These ghost armors are fine. Spirit armor is also fine, and this is stolen. Okay. Also, that Shakti figurine, I don't think any merchant in the game actually buys, so perhaps at a later point in the future we're going to maybe use it once and then dispose of it. And also, while we're here, we can quickly sell all of the jewelry and gems. I think most of them we have in stacks of 1, so we should be able to do it pretty quickly, just like that. And then we're going to deal with the remaining bigger stacks. Alright, so just like that. 230,000. Our situation is much better now. We can also switch the bags of holding so that Saravok keeps the wands again. And now we are ready. We can also unlock the siege camp area by traveling west from the North Forest, but of course our destination right now is the Fire Giant Temple located in the Marching Mountains. Just wanted to give you a chance to listen to the music for a little bit. This majestic theme here. And just from that you can see how, you can get the feeling how things are about to get serious where we're going, especially considering the improvements to the area that Ascension and SCS provide. But anyway, before we commence our full attack on the Fire Giant domain and explore the area to the west, let's actually proceed to the east for just a moment and showcase the abilities of a particularly troublesome monster. And I'm talking about these burning men over here. Those are a special type of a fire elemental that actually come with a couple of abilities, and especially one particularly nasty, potent dispelling ability that I want to showcase before we really buff up for the area. Also, these fire giants here outside actually deal slashing damage, and also the elite fire giants inside deal slashing as well, so Saravok's Roranok's horn is not going to do him much good, but at least the regular fire giants inside the temple are going to be back to dealing crushing damage as they are supposed to. But anyway, first let's give these guys a chance to do what they are supposed to do. Alright, so that keening ability is just their fear that they have around them. Then that Cinder Shower is an ability that deals fire damage and reduces Thaco and dexterity of the target. So let's see, Saravok has -10 Thaco and of course 17 dexterity. Alright, so just one cast of that brought that down to 15 and -6, and the other guy did not cast that. Also 26 fire damage. And because these abilities do stack, so Saravok could have been reduced in stats a little bit more, but now they are casting what I want to showcase, and then we're going to deal with them. Alright, now that another Cinder Shower is coming, but basically I was talking about the Banefire ability, which is just an extremely potent, complete dispel that just gets rid of all spell protections akin to the spell Spell Strike, say spell one more time, and also it casts Dispel Magic on target that always works. So that basically wipes out all of our protections, all of the protection from fire or chaotic commands or remove fear, everything that we would like to have active while doing our assault here on the fire giants. They can just immediately dispel. So basically they are quite a troublesome opponent. They can quickly become a nuisance, and that is why we are generally always going to unleash Saravok immediately upon them with the Wave Halberd. And we're going to get a lot of value from this weapon because of this property of it, that it instantly slays fire elementals, Ifrit, and salamanders, and there's going to be plenty of such creatures where we're going. And also what's great about this weapon, contrary to stuff like Staff of Fire, for example, is that this property does not give the opponents an opportunity to save against it. It just kills instantly, no questions asked. So this is a very Saravok-like weapon, and he's going to enjoy wielding that very much. And basically what we're going to do with these burning men, since they are a type of a fire elemental, we're just going to always allow Saravok to just quickly deal with them before they can really become troublesome with their abilities. Yeah, just instantly kill them. The fire giants have critical strike, which we don't care about because we are protected against critical hits. Alright, these guys are dealt with. Now Saravok can go back to his normal sword for the fire giants. And that's it. Also, this one, yeah, the developers here give us the opportunity to scavenge some non-magical weapons because inside their temple there's going to be a magic golem, and they of course require non-magical weapons to be hurt. And then there are a couple of spawn points of these fire giants. They're still going to keep coming in pairs, but soon enough we are going to start meeting much bigger groups of them. Actually, let's already buff up a little bit against their physical damage. Kira and I can stay in the back. And now let's just dispose of them quickly. And here they are going to drop emeralds, and we are going to stash one of them separately, because we're going to need it for crafting. Let's just place everything where it's supposed to be. Alright, and now we can explore a little bit more of the area. There's going to be a very unique encounter here with some other children of Bhaal. And I think already I'm going to give just this one chaotic command on Yaga-Shura at least, just in case. Alright, and now let's go. Yeah, so apparently these creatures here are Bhaalspawn as well. Here Chinchilla says, "Oh no, we've been discovered, my Bhaalspawn friends. Fight! Fight!" So Chinchilla for now is a low-level rabbit mage, but once we deal enough damage she's going to change into a greater werewolf. Also we have Tube the Brave, a Zvart, who is a level 15 fighter with 6 attacks per round, and he's actually hasted, and we're going to need to get rid of him as one of the first targets, because the thing about this encounter is that we only have around 2 or 3 rounds before they actually sound the retreat and start running away. And Toop is actually so quick that we can't really reach him with any of our damage once he starts retreating, so we want to be sure that he's dead by then. Then we have Tibbet, who is a level 17 archer, as in the ranger kit. He has access to cold shot, for example, and a very good Thaco. And then we have Merlinius, which is a level 18 Kensai that can go invisible, and actually has minus 20 Thaco. So, you know, these guys can deal a surprisingly huge amount of damage sometimes if they connect with their attacks. But anyway, let's first deal with Chinchilla. It's casting an enchantment spell. We have already dealt with her. Also, they all have 50% physical resistance and some really good magic resistance, but we don't really care about any of that. We're going to be able to overwhelm them with our damage. Well, we should be able to, handily enough. Alright, you can see how quick Toop is, and we really want to get rid of him very quickly before they start retreating. And yeah, Merlinius was invisible. He uncovered himself by doing an attack, and as you can see, they sometimes can get this weapon ineffective message, and that's why they are. That's because they are wielding only +1 weapons. Only Toop has a +2 dagger, I think. And of course, Yaga-Shura, after her hell trials, is now innately immune to such puny weaponry. Alright. Toop is down, which is very nice. There's Whirlwind attack coming from Tibbet. Let's just kind of be on top of our healing here. Not to have any unpleasant surprises happening. Yes, die. Listen to Sarawak. Alright, they didn't even manage to get their line going, I think. Yeah. Saying that, you know, they need to run away. So we were actually pretty effective in this fight. Anyway, did I just accidentally put this dagger here? No. Alright, that's fine. Okay, now we can actually head inside the temple. There's another spawn point of these fire giants here. Oh yeah, actually let's get Kira and I back to her throwing ways. Jeez. And this is only a situation where, you know, we of course are not properly pre-buffed yet, but those are only situations where there are 2 fire giants, and soon enough we're going to get into situations where there's going to be like 6 of them, also including the elite versions that are tougher, higher level, they are more dangerous, and also they are just more resilient, I guess, because the elite fire giants actually have, with their Berserker and Rage, they have over 300 HP. Actually, because this combat music is not going away. I just did a quick save, quick load, because we are going to do some pre-buffs now, and we'll be able to enjoy this cool music that this area has to offer while we do it. But anyway, when it comes to the elite fire giants, they actually have over 300 HP, and even the regular giants have around 200. So basically more than any Shadows of Am dragon without SCS installed. But anyway, now let's continue with these chaotic commands. And we're going to use Jaheira's chaotic commands here as well, because we're not really going to be at a danger of getting dispelled if we play our cards right. At least not a dispel that's going to be really reliant on anyone's level. But we do want to have chaotic commands on, because some opponents in there are going to be able to stun us. Like the fire giants, for example, can have power attack, and we want to be protected against that at all costs, of course. Then we can also do some of our basic buffs. We're going to have remove fear as well. And we are going to use some protection from fire buffs, but we are going to dispense those once we are inside, because we're going to summon the Imoen's projected image for that purpose, and then once we are inside, we are actually going to use it much more. Use it to cast some more spells than just buffs, and we can't really summon it here outside because, you know, of course, summoned creatures cannot travel through areas. And also, what we're going to do is give Jaheira some iron skins. We're going to pre-buff with some armors of faith. And that's going to be more or less it for now. We're just going to release our familiar to make all of us invisible, because this area, this entrance here is an area transition, so we cannot really leave anyone outside for what we want to do. We have to enter with our whole party. So we're just going to make ourselves invisible. Right. And now we can proceed. So here there's going to be a big group of fire giants appearing as we kind of venture forth. And they already kind of start spawning. There are going to be some also in these side rooms that I want to pull to us. They can't see invisible, so our other party members are safe for now, and we can just kind of waste their time a little bit by just running around. I just want them to bunch up. There's going to be around 6 of them, I think, in this area. Alright, they only wield +2 weapons, so this regular mantle is going to be enough to make Senashira protected. We're also going to use protection from magical weapons on Imoen, because that's basically all she has. And that's also going to do the trick, of course. And after that we're going to try to unleash a greater malison from Senashira, and Anaman is going to cast a chant while invisible, and that is actually not going to reveal him. And we're casting Greater Malison and a chant to make the saving throws of the fire giants worse for our Wail of the Banshee, because this is going to be where we would like to get some value out of that spell and showcase its capabilities. Although the thing that's good and bad about Wail of the Banshee is that its saving throw that it offers to opponents is a save versus death and not versus spell. And it can be good when it comes to using it against mages, for example, whose save versus death is much worse than their save versus spell. But when it comes to these fire giants, their save versus death is actually better than their save versus spell. Their save versus death is 3. So with Greater Malison Enchant, we're going to be able to reduce it to 8, which is going to give us a 40% chance to just instantly kill them with our Wail of the Banshee. So let's just wait for these effects to happen. And there we go, now we can start casting, and I think in the meantime already Senashira can dish out some damage onto this elite fire giant. And now Anaman is going to get himself ready with some drop on Holy Might, and we should be okay. Senashira is dangerously surrounded by these guys. Alright, we got 2 kills, but one of them was the elite guy, so that's pretty cool. And now we're going to just aid Senashira in this brutal physical damage fight. with all of our other characters. Alright, there's that whirlwind attack coming in. It's a little dangerous. Try to at least not give them the opportunity to unleash all of these attacks. As you can see, when you're not careful, the health of our party members can drop very rapidly. Alright, yeah, they have power attacks. They have the whirlwind attacks. Many different types of attacks. Let's keep healing. And there we go. The first group has been dealt with. Anyway, let's just quickly loot, and then we're going to get into proper pre-buffs. And basically, as you can see, this is about the time where you kind of want to switch to the Throne of Bhaal healing potions, really. Seeing how much damage these fire giants can unleash. Anyway, actually, before we buff up, let's just disarm some traps around here. In these side rooms, there are going to be these inscriptions with a certain symbol. This one has a symbol of a hammer, and the other one is going to have a symbol of a skull. We're going to have to obtain some ward stones to activate them, but that's for a little bit later. Yeah, symbol of a skull here. Now, when it comes to these pools of lava, these big ones actually can deliver some decent fire damage, and very quickly, like every second. But these rivers of lava actually don't do anything. It's safe to pass through them. But anyway, for the purposes of these lava pools and many other things that this place is going to have to offer, now we're going to summon that projected image and dispense some buffs. We're going to cast this protection from fire on Senashira, and the other one on Kirinai. And we're going to use this protection from the elements on Saravok. Also, when it comes to fire protections, of course, Jaheira is completely immune just through her gear, and Anoman has the helmet, the ring, and also with the addition of his superior armor of faith, he can go up to a very respectable 85 fire resistance, so he should be fine. Alright, also this projected image is going to cast protection from magical energy on Senashira, which should come in handy soon. And while this image is still active, we're going to do another fight where it's going to be able to unleash some spells. So there's another trap to take care of here, and I think in the meantime actually you can summon a Mordenkainen's sword. Right, and now we can go. I'm going to go to the east for now. These two side areas are protected or barred by these magical barriers that we're going to have to deactivate. But that's for a little bit later. Right, let's pull these guys. There's going to be some elite and regular fire giants. Let's have some distraction. And even though they are berserkers, able to use that berserker enrage, the fire giants are still susceptible to blindness and slow, and we're going to try to unleash some of them, some of those effects, and hopefully have a little bit of success with them. Yeah, we're going to cast slow on Senashira, and the projected image is going to cast glitter dust. Hopefully they kind of come closer. And are a little bit stuck back there. You're too fat for your own passages here. Anyway, we did not manage to blind or slow anyone, I think. Sometimes they can get magic resistance because they have 10 magic resistance, so they can sometimes lock out with that. Anyway, I wasn't counting on much success with these effects, and especially, you know, we probably would be able to like blind or slow like one of them at least if they all like came through a little bit quicker, but they got stuck behind there. Anyway, let's focus our fire on this badly injured guy, and then probably on the elite guys. Yeah, and the projected image is going to cast some horrid wiltings. Alright, we still have stone skins on Senashira, but let's give ourselves some mirror images. Alright, whirlwind attacks start coming from the fire giants. Let's be cautious of that. Alright, that's what I'm talking about here. Anoman is stuck somewhere in there. Right, Saravok is doing a little bit better. We have that hardiness on him as well, but I don't want to use it just yet. We need to save it for some other occasions, because I want to do this whole area without resting, by the way. So we're going to have to use our resources as best we can. Jaheira can kind of go back into the fight, I think, a little bit. I think also, just to play it safe, we're going to use one of our protection from magical weapons on Jaheira, just so we don't have to worry about her so much. Right, Saravok needs healing. Right, he needs to get out of there. Yeah, this is the Throne of Bhaal damage that our opponents can offer to us. Especially since, oh yeah, our Armors of Faith just expired, it seems. And we need to focus fire our attacks a little bit. This Elite Fire Giant is near death. We need to take care of him. Alright, Jaheira. I don't really want to use a charge of this Rod of Resurrection. We have one more now, but those charges are precious, man. And let's actually have as much use as we can from these Shadows of Amn, I guess, healing potions, and we should switch to the better ones soon. Right, that's Elite Fire Giant, I guess Saravok is going to take care of. I really don't want to have Kiranai in melee without at least her Janssen Adventure Wear, that I think we're going to get after this this whole place. Right, another forward wilting should help a little bit with our damage output. Alright, here we are done. Saravok can go back to fighting, Anoman can go back. This guy's near death, this guy's injured. So Jaheira needs one more heal, so let's be careful with her. Alright, here we are done. Now let's get this injured elite guy taken care of. This is not even the most intense fight that we're going to have here, not by a long shot. But yeah, for the other fights we are going to use some of our resources to reduce the incoming physical damage. Here I don't really want to use any, because we are going to need them later. Yeah, let's keep Anoman out of there. Also Saravok can keep healing. Alright, we've done it. Alright, now let's take a look at this contraption, this machine. It's going to have 4 symbols on it for the 4 ward stones that we're going to have to obtain in order to lift this magical barrier that's blocking our passage upstairs to the inner sanctum of the fire giants, I guess. Yeah, let's keep using our potions here. And Jaheira is going to take care of this next part. We're just going to get... we're just going to have to get rid of this projected image. We don't need it anymore. And we need real Imoen, because we need her amulet for this next part. We need to get this poison protection amulet to Jaheira. And... yeah, these 4 ward stones we're going to get from containers such as this one, and whenever we loot one of these, some additional guardians are going to spawn. So we have to be prepared. This batch is going to consist of some golems, and I'm already going to activate Improved Mantle, just to make Jaheira invulnerable to their stuff, to their attacks. Here's that ward stone. This one has the symbol of the skull on it. Anyway, we're going to have an adamantite golem, a clay golem, and a magic golem. The magic golems can drain wizard spells and also charges from items, but they are not going to be able to connect with their attacks, or this one. I'm talking as if there are more of them. There's just this one. But he's not going to do... He's not going to be able to connect with his attacks, because I think they are +4 enchanted. So this improved mantle is going to do the trick. We've also have this protection from poison because of the gas cloud coming from the adamantite golem. But anyway, I think first we're going to just dish out some damage onto this magic golem, try to dispose of him. Just come on, Jaheira, connect with your attacks. Alright, now he is dealt with. We can kill this clay golem instantly with our Crom Fair. And now let's get out of this cloud and cast our imprisonment spell. This spell is an instant death spell that bypasses magic resistance. That's why it's pretty handy to use on golems, who, of course, all golems have 100% magic resistance. And these golems don't drop anything, so the downside of this spell, which is not getting the loot off of this instantly imprisoned creature, does not come into play when it comes to them, and we can save ourselves the trouble of actually going toe-to-toe and with physical damage with this adamantite golem, and we can just imprison him, kill him instantly that way, and we don't actually lose anything by doing it this way, and there we go. 25,000 experience, no problem. Alright. So this one ward stone is now obtained. Now we can get our equipment back in order. Right, here we're going to have a rather simple fight. Actually, yeah. I just realized that there are traps around this one. This is an exception. Of course, we're protected against that fireball, but still, we don't want to be too quickly. We don't want to rush things. Although, I know we are massively over time, and I wanted to do this whole part of this temple. And I'm just rushing things too much. I think we are going to have to take a little break, because there are some involved encounters still left in these side rooms here. But anyway, we can at least do this one. Here Saravok is going to equip his wave halberd. And now that we loot this one, we're going to get a great belt. And yeah, there's going to be some fire salamanders for Saravok's wave to deal with, and some fire trolls for our Crom Fair to instantly kill. So this is basically the instant kill batch of enemies. Don't feel too bad for them. This place is going to to offer us some nasty stuff in some of the other rooms. Alright, so now we have the hammer wardstone as well. And by using these wardstones on these inscription plates here, we are going to be able to get rid of these barriers. But I think we are going to get to all of that in the next episode. So for now, I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our adventure in the Fire Temple so far. And I'll see you in the next episode.